Hi guys, welcome to the flight today. As we're here with a brand new aircraft, the FlyJSim 737-200, and what I find of the 737 today is it's a combination of the 7472 old school systems put into the Zebo model of the aircraft, should we say. Lovely new textures on the engines, and it's just a really nice aircraft to fly. So we're going to be doing a flight from Luton up to Aberdeen, and we'll be flying VOR to VOR. We're not using the receiver. We're going to do VOR to VOR navigation in it today, which should be quite fun as we track all the way up inbound to the Aberdeen VOR, and then we'll cut around onto the 20 nautical mile DME arc, off the left hand turn onto the 346 to intercept for the localizer down in Aberdeen for runway 34. So now we can get the aircraft fully set up, ready to go. So don't forget to like and subscribe, guys. Help us get to that 2k subscriber goal. And now we can get inside the aircraft and start the aircraft up for the pre-flight procedures. 737-200, so we'll run off the checklist, etc. as we get the aircraft all ready and loaded to go. So I'm going to put the battery on, which is guarded, standby power is guarded, and I'm going to say we've got no ground power, so we're going to go ahead and start the APU up. We'll slowly start now to see the EGT increase, which is checked, and everything is going to start to come to life. So EGT will come up, then stabilize, and we can switch over onto the APU generator. So we can go to about, as we can see, we've got voltage, and we'll go onto the APU gen once that comes to life. From there we've got the left and right pumps, so we can put the left pump in for the APU, which is set. We can arm the emergency lights, we can get our no smokings on, which are set and checked. We can also get the galley power on for when it does come to life. Once the APU now comes over, we're then going to switch over and get the aircraft powered up, stabilised to go. Okay, now the APU's come over, we're going to switch over to get the aircraft all to life. You can see the APU gens come in now. So what we'll do is we'll get the window heats, which can go on and set. We can test everything overhead. The flight recorder system can be checked, max speed warning can be tested along with the stall, which is also checked along with the flaps, which are set. So we can test everything out. We've got the ADF, which is up here now as we get the recircs on, the gaspers on, packs are currently on, the isolation valve can be open, and the APU bleed can come on, which is also set for us. So we're going to go before a flight altitude of 300. That's going to give us on the cabin altitude, 300 is 5.8. Is 5,800 feet, and on the landing altitude for the arrival elevation is going to be 215, so we get 215 in, give it a 210, currently on ground at the moment. As we are going to get ready to go, then just before we take off we'll switch over to flight, go over to auto and get the positioning lights on. Any collision lights can also come on, which are checked. From there we can go get the IRS positioning all set for us as well. So as we fly through we'll go and get the IRS set, so we'll switch the IRS on. The IRS is on standby, go to position 51527, so we'll just check to make sure that that is the longitude coordinates, 51525 west 223, so that is pretty much it. We don't need to do anything. The IRS is already in for the aircraft, which is already set for us. So coming out for the route, we can carry on with the checklists as we leave out of lovely Luton Airport. So going for a flight level 300, currently got set. We can see we've got a lovely MCP with all the different knobs and things to turn. I'll go through it all as we get ready to go. We can see we've got the flight director side and the autopilot side, so this is the part where we know the aircraft's in control. Flight director is basically going to give us the flight director on here. So from there we've got the gear, which is down, and check transponder, indicated airspeed. We can go and get our bugs. So we've got our bugs here for flaps 5 takeoff. We've got V1142, rotate for 144, V2s for 149. So 149 will be setting in. We can go and set the bugs. We've got 2.17, which is going to be on the EPR, and 97.4% N1 on takeoff. We can see stab trim is going to be 3.6, so we can go down and get 3.6, which will be in. So I would say 3.6 is around just there, which is also set. Getting the METARs for Luton, we've got 1025 on the QNH, which is set and checked. 1025, 1025, and we get 1025 as well, which is set and checked. We've got temperature 13 degrees, and we've got overcast of 1600 feet. Leaving the vicinity, winds are currently 330 at 11, we're leaving out on runway 25, so we've got our bug speeds in, flaps up 200 and flaps 1 is going to be for 164, so we've set the speed bugs at 164, which will come in as we get ready to go. So I'll show you guys the departure once we leave out of runway 25, which is going to be on the 255, which is set. We're going to be departing out. Once we get to 1030 feet above, we're then going to proceed on to the 212, which will track our radial 032 for the 11375 to Bovingdon. And once we track down, we get 7 nautical miles from Bovingdon. We're then going to turn on to the 255, where we're then going to basically track outbound onto the 345 once passing the 004 radial onto Bovingdon. We've got the Henton ADF for the NDB, which is 433.5, so we can put in 433. Can quite fiddly. Okay, there's 433, which is in. We can see if it's on. So there it's practically on there, which is on for the 233. So we've got the 255, then once we leave out onto the 345, we're then going to track to Onley. Once we get to Onley, that's where we're then going to track outbound then onto our set of VORs, which are going to take us all the way down to Aberdeen for the arrival, passing through Daventry, then through Trent. We've got Pole Hill, and then we're going to go to the Tango Lima Alpha, which is going to bring us in, and then we're going to track that onto the 346 once leaving the Tango Lima Alpha, which is then going to bring us on to the 037 to intercept. At 26 nautical miles, we'll then take a right hand turn onto the 087, and then once we pass the 201 radial for Aberdeen, that's where we're then going to turn pretty much onto about the 095, and then we'll intercept for the 340 coming in. So it should be a nice flight today as we get to fly out on these lovely systems. So you can see that's for the flight director, so everything over on this side is all for flight director purposes, which will go on after takeoff, etc. This side here is for the autopilot, so there's the heading, there's the VOR lock. You can see there's manual, got the auto approach, manual glide slope, so that'll be with vertical speed. As the aircraft doesn't have vertical speed, we'll be using the yoke, so to speak. So we're going to be leaving out to track the 212, okay, which is set. We'll go ahead and get the electric hydraulics, which can go on. As we can hear them coming to life, your damper can go on now as we are set. We can get all our fuel pumps. We can go see the fuel quantity, so we've got quantity in all three, so we can get all of them on, which are set and checked for us. Seatbelt signs, no smoking, are on and checked, and we are now ready to call the tow. 5,008 on the cab altitude, we're going down to ground at the moment, and now choose 210 for a 215, and we're going up for 300. I'm going to cut 300 down to a 280, and we should have some lovely, exciting departure today with these new engines, old school engines that we're going to fly. So we're going to track the 212 down into Bovingdon. There's going to be no need to switch on for the INS as we're not using it. We're going to be doing full VOR to VOR. So let's get the aircraft now all ready to go. We can call the tug and get ready to leave. Tugs are now driving us up as we get ready to leave out. We're going to go put the VORs in now, so we can go and get Bovingdon in, which is going to be the 11375. Which is checked. You can see on the RMI everything's moved over now. ready for when we take off. So when we take off, we're going to be taking off onto the 255, where we're then ready to intercept onto the 212. Onto track 212, 7 nautical miles to Bovingdon, we're going to turn onto the 255, and then once passing over
okay, all doors and hatches are closed, ready to connect.
Once we pass the 004 radial, which is going to be right here, this is when we basically are going to make that right hand turn, which will then take us onto the 345. So we can fly it out manually, or we can do the VMR lock, depending if we get the autopilot on at that amount of time. So we can go ahead now and close all the doors. What I'm going to do is I'm going to leave the stairs so you guys can see an outside version of that. So closing all the doors, and we'll now show you the outside version as it starts to close.
So connected and bypass pin inserted. Release parking brake.
Okay, so we can go ahead now and release the parking brake, which is set.
Starting pushback, and you may start engines.
Okay, so we can turn the packs off, which are also set and checked. We've got the APU bleed, which is on, as we can see through the lovely windows that we are leaving now. So we go for engine number 2. And we see M1 will start to increase. We've got N2, which is starting to slow down to 20%. We'll get the fuel, and then we can start to see the engines igniting. So there's 20%. Engine number 2 now coming in. N2 increasing, EGT increasing, N1 slowly lifting, and we are all ready to go. On for takeoff, we are going to be leaving now on 1.75. There's 2.17, so 2.17 will go in, which is also set and checked. There's engine number 2, which has just come to life, and start count is over, so we go for engine number 1. Disconnect the tow, we can go to our full taxi checklist. So as we come over now, we can see engine number 1 now switch back over, so we put engine number 1, Gen 1 and 2 can switch back over, go to Gen 1 over on the buses. Everything's all set over there. Probe heats can now come on, which are checked. We can get the packs back on, isolation valve can go to auto, the engine bleeds can come on along the APU bleed, and the APU can come off as well, which is also set and checked. Engine start switches, go to low ignition, and we've got the elevator trim, which is set for 3.6, got the recall, which is clear and checked, and we've got the altimeters, which is set for 1025. We are coming in for flaps 5, which is right. Tests, so we do full forward, full back, full up and right. Get the control columns over, as we're now going to taxi down through Delta, and then we'll make a left onto Alpha, and then follow on for runway 25. So we can release the parking brakes now, as we now get ready to go. Taxi lights can be on and set, which are checked, anti-collisions are on, logo can go on as well, as we now get ready to leave. So it's a really nice aircraft. Again, each aircraft has just that little bit different of systems. The 727, because the FlyJSim, the 727, when you leave a VOR frequency to then put the new one into track, the aircraft will hold its present track heading until you've then changed the course, which it will then go and find. When it comes down to the 737, that does exactly the same thing, and it's very nice to see, because the 747 doesn't track the same heading once you leave a VOR frequency, of what I've noticed anyway. So today we are going to be able to not switch between heading and VOR locks, so then we don't track outbound and things go all messy. So we're going to be Tech 5. Lovely aircraft. As we can see, we've got Overcast, which is 1600 feet. Going to take a left-hand turn off Delta. 2.17 on the EPR before takeoff, which is going to be 97.4%. So we're going to carry on down Alpha, and then once we get down to Alpha before Takeoff Checklist, everything will be all set for us to go. So elevator trim's 3.6, as we said, recall was checked, we've got no lower display units, we're like the 800. Flaps 5 set, also brakes are off. Now RTO, I should imagine they would go to max, as I'm not really too sure, as there isn't an RTO for the auto brake. So we'll leave it off as we get ready to pass over the hold short. Could be a little bit rocky when we come into Aberdeen, so that's something to look forward to. A bit of rocky weather. Fasten seatbelts, no smokings are all on. Aircraft is fully configured and ready to leave. As we are going to get ready for takeoff now, we can switch over onto flight mode. And once we pass the hold short, we'll get the strobes on and we'll get ready to blast off. Cabin crew, take your seats for departure. Okay, so we get the runway turn up lights on, get the strobes on, which are checked. As she's an old deer, we'll turn around, we'll give her all of the runway. So once the aircraft taxis down here, we can check out our takeoff speeds again, just very briefly. So flaps 5, we've got 3.6, which is practically in flaps 5, 97.4 on N1 and 217. Now I don't know how to get the reduced EPR etc. and go around EPR, so if anybody does know that, if you could leave that down in the comments, that would be really helpful. 164 is going to be for flaps 1, we've got our bugs which are all set, so 161 is going to be flaps 1, 200 is going to be clean, and rotate is going to be at 144. line up for 2.5 now. Or 2.6, as runways have changed. Okay, so put on the parking brakes quick. As we have before, takeoff checklist and get ready for the first flight on for the departure. So we've currently got in Bovingdon, which is down on us for the 11375. Once we track out from Bovingdon, we are then going to move through and go to Daventry. Daventry is going to be on the 11640, so we can get that in as well. 11640, which is in, so that should come up on DME number 2 once we do come within reach. So we're going to leave out, turn onto the 212, 1030 feet above, make a left hand turn onto the 212, and then it's 7 nautical miles from Bovingdon, where they're going to rise up to the 004, which should be in for the ADF, which we can see there's the ADF, and once the ADF passes 004, that's when we're then going to switch in. So we can get the ADF on, which is set. So we can go overhead and get our landing lights, which are all set and checked. Engine start switches are low continuous. Everything else on that front seems to be all good. Nav equipment, takeoff V1, rotate is going to be 144. And landing light strobes, taxis, transponder, TARA, which is also set and checked. And we are now ready to go, guys. So everything might happen a little bit too fast, but we'll get it all sorted. So we can release parking brake. Can power on up now to 40%. And tow. Airspeed live.
80 knots.
Checked. Also going to go back just a little.
E1. Rotate.
Rotate. Positive, right? Get right. Okay, at 1,000 feet, we are then going to rise up, so near to 1,000 we can start to throttle back, we can go into flaps 1, we're going to move on to the 212 now, then we can get heading mode in. Okay, 212, which is in and set. As we move around, we can go to a flaps up speed, and we can start to just throttle back a little. As we now move through, we intercept onto the 212, can get pitch up for around 1,000 feet per minute. As we just hold on through now, coming through 220 our speed. Gear is up now, so we can turn that off, which is checked. As we're flying the aircraft manually now, just hitting onto 230, and we're just going to power back so we can hold in. So we're just waiting for the 212. We're currently going down to the 004, so we're going to go to the 255. We are rising up through 2,000 feet per minute. The aircraft's now basically tracking inbound onto 345, which is going to lead us into Airline, where we're then going to go on to Daventry, which we can see is 66 nautical miles. So we're travelling onto the 345. Once we get down into Daventry as we're just now coming through onto Biggin, 6,000 feet, 15 nautical miles from Biggin. So we are now basically 5,007, 6,000 will be there. We go to transition, which is going to be 1013. 29902, which is Sam. Go over on the reserve gauge as well. 29902, we can get our runway turn off lights off, taxi's going to go off now, engine starts can go off as well, which are also checked. Cabin can now relax as we're flying through the 345 track. We're currently 12 nautical miles back from Bovington. As we now move 15 nautical miles, we need to be at 6,000 feet. We've already moved through for 6,000 as we're going to be going up for our flight level of 280. So 280, which is in, and if we want to go higher on our climb, we can increase throttles now as we've got the indicated airspeed mode on for the pitch, so you can see the aircraft's going to really start to climb as we just throttle back to hold for around 3,000 feet per minute. Then once we get over for 10,000 feet, we can then speed the aircraft up and get ready to go. So basically we are controlling our vertical speed through our throttle input on the indicated airspeed mode. Once we get over to our altitude, we will then see it switch over to altitude hold where the aircraft will then level itself off. Here's the autopilot side and the flight director side. So on the flight director side right now, you can see that we've got the nav lock in. As we're passing 10,000 feet now, we can turn off the landing lights, which are also set and checked. Altitude hold, that's just for the flight director, so it will basically wipe out the level on the pitch, as we can change the pitch level as well. So we wanted to go up for, as we are now, for 3,000 feet, 2.5, we increase our throttle bridge just a little more, we can just get a little higher rate of descent. So we're going to go for 4 EPR now. As we rise up through 11,000 feet, we can now start to speed the aircraft up as we go for 350. Aircraft's going to start to pitch down so it can then speed up for our Mach speed, which we should be hitting around Mach 7.4 to Mach 0.85, which is fine. So as we're going to be coming in for Daventry, 21 nautical miles. Daventry is going to be coming in, so we can switch over Daventry onto the 1164. We will hold our current heading track, so the aircraft won't leave that. It should stay on board. And we are going to be coming in for Daventry, which is going to be giving us 283. So there's a 283. We should be set now as we just wait to intercept down. So the aircraft's just going to move around so we can get around the RMI. So there's Daventry coming in now, so we'll move over to the 283 just to track our heading, even though it isn't going to do anything. And there's the 283, which is Sam, and now we're tracking inbound to Daventry onto the 283. So we'll start to see now as we leave through onto the 11455, which we don't need now, we can shut off. And after Daventry, we've then got Trent, which is going to be 11570. So Trent's currently 63 nautical miles, 11 nautical miles to Daventry, currently down the 283. So past through 14,000 feet now. We are set up now at our cruise speed, and the aircraft is now climbing through just around 2,500 feet per minute. We are currently at max throttle as we climb through, and we are up to 2,000 feet. So that's pretty much it now. As we're not 8 nautical miles. We're out the 283. Once we come in for Trent, which is the 1157, which is set. We'll switch that over, and then we'll get our courses all set as well. And our track for Trent coming in is going to be the 339. that block can go back in now. As we make that right hand turn to intercept for Trent, on the way up passing through 17,200 feet. Takeoff cinematics, so don't forget to like and subscribe, helps get to that 2k subscriber goal, and I'll see you when we get back in the cockpit for our descent down into lovely Aberdeen. So now you can see the VOR logs that are coming and take us down into the train. So we'll see when we get down to our top of the descent. Hi guys, welcome back to the flight deck. As we're going to be getting ready to go into our top of descent soon, as we are just now near to our Tower VOR Tango Lima Alpha. We're on the 113.8, currently 8 nautical miles. We're going to turn towards Aberdeen now, which we've got programmed in, which is the 11430. We're going to make a slight left turn onto the 310 if the VOR log doesn't want to do it for us. We're going to intercept onto the 039 coming in on the arrival. Down means go on to the 037 to intercept. So I'm going to switch over now onto the 1143, and then from there we are going to go on to the 037. Which is also checked. Can just hold back our speed just a little. 037, which will be in as the aircraft's now holding the same position as we roll through. The aircraft will then make a right hand turn when it's going to intercept. And then we'll get ready to coming on for Aberdeen. So it's going to align itself up, ready to come in for Aberdeen onto the 037. Once we get around 20 nautical miles, we're then going to come in onto that right hand turn. So the aircraft's going to line itself up. See on the RMI whereabouts 11430 is, just over to the right of us, and we're coming in on the 030. So let's get ready to lock in. We've got everything all set, currently 110 nautical miles. As we can see on DME2, we have the 11430 in as well. So as we now gain closer to the arrival, we can have a look at our arrival data. So we go to our landing, we're going to be coming in for flaps 30. We'll go and get the METARs in as well. METARs down in Aberdeen at 1026, temperature's 10, got broken clouds at 2,100 feet, and winds at 320 at 07, so that'll be a +5, so VRF 141 +5 will be 145. So we'll set the bugs order, which will be checked for us. And we've got currently the temperature is minus 42. So the 104 will come in. And as we can see, once we roll through, we are going to come through, and we can see that we are basically just going to get ready to intercept. As we follow down, as you can see, and then we're going to rock in onto that right hand turn. We're currently planned to come down on our descent. It's currently at 280. 72, 82 nautical miles will be making our descent down. So 84 nautical miles, we'll start that top of descent, where we'll then track in as we've got the Aberdeen VOR in. So once we get to around 84 nautical miles, that's where we're then going to start to get the aircraft prepared to come down into its top of descent and discuss the arrival with you guys. So we're going to do the 20 nautical mile arc onto the 340, which will bring us down at 2,500 feet, as we also have some terrain in the vicinity as well, which we can also get down. As I'll show you guys, we've got the weather, which is quite a nice little feature, as you can see. Put the grain down. We should start to see some lovely weather. It was working earlier on when I was using it. It was actually really nice. So we're currently just holding around 306, just about Mach decimal 78. And we said 84 nautical miles. We're going to start at top of descent. 1600 feet and 2100 feet broken clouds, 1026. Transition is going to be 6,000, as it says, transition levels ATC. So we'll take 6,000, airport elevation 215, which we've got set for 210, which is also in and set. Not sure if we can set for 5 again, it goes up in increments of 10. So that's all set and checked for us. We can get the seatbelts back on, which are set and checked. 280, currently coming down to 90 nautical miles. We can now start to slow the aircraft down. Once we come down for the ILS or for the arrival, we're going to want to be down for around 4,000 feet. So what we're going to do is, from 280 now, we're going to put in 4,000 feet, or initial 10 off the bat. We're going to go into indicated airspeed mode, and we're now going to start to throttle back, and the aircraft's now going to start to descend. So we'll start the initial descent for around 1,500 feet, so I'm in control of the descent now through the settings on the throttle. So basically in this, it's just like the 727, basically IAS mode is basically going to hold the indicated airspeed mode that we've got set over on our speed dial, and if we take the throttle away, the aircraft's going to descend a little more, so then it can speed up to where our indicated marker is. And once we then input throttle, the aircraft starts to lift, and we go up on our speed. We can then see the vertical speed start to increase as well. So we're going to stop there for around 1,500 feet. As we're currently 83 nautical miles, and we are starting now the descent down into lovely Aberdeen today. So we're going to our checklist. Checklist coming down for our descent. We've got the engine and instruments, which are monitors. We've got fuel quantity, which is also set and checked. This information has been set for 1026. Winds coming down for the runway are 320 at 7, so it'll be a +5 onto our landing rev, which is 141, so +5 that, but I'm going to give it an extra 10 just because I don't want to go down into stall speed. Broken 2100, temperature's 10, dew point 06. After that, got our localizer frequency, which we're going to get set in, as we don't need to switch anything else over now. So the localizer frequency coming down into the runway is the 109.9, which is the India Alpha Bravo Delta for the 340. So 109.9 we can get set in. 109.9, which is in and checked. Let's see, put it on the wrong one. So we've got the 114.3. There we go for Aberdeen, and we'll stick it in on the right hand side, so we'll be 109.9, and we'll switch that over once we get nearer to the airport. As we start the descent now through 24,000 feet, we can go in and have a look. as we get in for our arrival, and everything is all set and ready to go. So as we fly in, we can see that we've got all of our systems and everything all set, passing through 24,000, and we are 72 nautical miles inbound to Aberdeen. QNH is 1026, which will get set when passing 6,000 feet. You see we've got a little yaw damper here. We'll just put a little bit of input of our left rudder. You can see the yaw damper on is correcting. So as we now roll through, as we're waiting to track into Aberdeen, which the VOR lock is going to do as it was in, now it has turned itself off, so altitude hold, and we've got our heading, which we want to get in as well, which is going to be down on 006. VOR lock can be pre-armed when it comes back in. And as we descend now, as I'm in control of the heading, can just basically move over to the 340. So then we've got a bit more of a nicer intercept when we come through, and the VOR lock can intercept quite nicely with some distance to spare. Passing through 230 will be at 4,000 feet. We are currently now around 1,000 feet, so I'm going to start to slow the aircraft down. There's the VOR lock coming in now, ready to intercept for Aberdeen onto the 037, which we've got set coming in on the arrival of the 037, 4,000 feet, 26 nautical miles. So we'll start to get a move on now. As we slow the aircraft down, start to throttle back. Altitude hold is in, as we've got 10,000, which is currently set, as we've got some mountains around on the area. You can see mountains 2,000, 25, 52. Once we get down to 26 nautical miles, 25, we make a right hand turn to 087, and then once we pass the 201 radial for Aberdeen, that's when we'll then turn onto around the 095, which will intercept us ready for the 034. So we're just currently intercepting now into Aberdeen onto the 037, and we can now move our heading over to the 037 as the VOR lock is active. So it doesn't matter now, we can move the heading as it's moved over onto the VOR land lock. So on for the rest of our chat list, we're going to take auto brake medium, which will be nice for us today. Anti-ice, which should currently be on and set. Recall, which is clear. Auto brakes, just discussed, is going to be medium. And our temperature set passing transition altitude is going to be 6,000 feet. So as we slow the aircraft down, passing through 56 nautical miles, 26 nautical miles, we make the turn, and we are going to pull the throttles back now, so we can start to descend. We're going to open up the speed brakes as well. That's 250. Start to see our vertical speed start to drop. We'll get a higher vertical speed rate coming in as we'll the speed brakes open. So once we reach altitude target 250, we're then going to basically go down into a steeper descent as we are on idle throttle now. And as the VOR needle slowly moves over, currently 52 nautical miles, and tracking the 037, which is in. See the VOR lock just slowly making some corrections to push the needle over, so then we can intercept for that 037 track, and 25 nautical miles we're going to turn onto the 087, and then passing then the 201 radial. That's where we're then going to make our right hand turn onto the 095 and then switch over ready for the localizer. So passing through 18,003 and ascending through 2,000 feet per minute. As we can see with wind correction as well. Currently 48 nautical miles. Seatbelt signs are on. Engine start switches can go to low, continuous, Engine anti-ice which is on, flight panel which is all set. As we've got landing altitude which is 210 for 215. Auto brake is medium 1026, passing transition 6000. So the aircraft's going to start to make a right hand turn as with wind correction. So we can stay on course. 45 nautical miles. As we go over and through, below 10,000 feet, 250, landing lights will be on and chance, passenger signs will be on. So we are currently at 260, passing through 15,000 feet. We'll start to slow our rate of descent up even more. As we stay for around 2-3. So slowly see the speed indicator slowly start to decrease. Once it reaches down to our speed indicator we set, when I see the vertical speed start to come down. So passing through 15,000 feet, currently 42 nautical miles. And 240 is fine, so we can stay for around 240. So the aircraft's going to sink in now. We're slowly just making a little right hand turn to start coming inbound for Aberdeen. As we're slowing 230, passing through 14,000 feet. 10,000's in, so we can come down to 6,000, which is checked, still in IAS mode, which is set. Everything over here is basically the flight director. All of this is not going to do anything, it's just showing you exactly what's going on. So there's the VOR lock, just showing us on the flight director what's going on here, to basically what we're doing on the IAS. So we've got the VOR lock in, and the aircraft is basically sort of maintaining in as with 37 nautical miles, and we're holding in for 242. And you see lovely views as we come into Aberdeen. So now through 11,000 feet. Got 240 down on our speed. It's doing 2,000 feet per minute. And we've got 33 nautical miles before we come down to the 037, and then we're going to go on to the 087. And then follow the 20 diameter arc down to 2,500 feet. So you might as well take that down to 2,500 feet now. Which is set, as we don't want to go below 2,500 as we come in. So passing 10,000 feet now, we can get our landing lights on, which aren't checked. We'll slowly start to bring the aircraft down to our clean speed. As we've got the speed brakes open, it's pretty much catching the draft. .29 nautical miles, so what I'm going to do now is, as we are on the 37, I'll roll that down into heading mode. Once we're 25 nautical miles, we need to turn onto the 087, passing through 9,700 feet. We can bring the control columns back over, as things are going to get juicy. So, get the head select back on, as we actually knock that off. For Aberdeen coming in, we can switch the localizer on now, which is the 109.9, as we've got Aberdeen here, which is 26 nautical miles. As we can see, 11430, so there's 26 nautical miles. 25, we're going to then turn through. There's 25, so we go to the 087. Which is set, passing through 8,005. We are a little high. So what we can do is get the speed brakes in. And we get some flaps in as well. So we start to come down, so we're dropping some flaps too. Let's pass through 8,000 feet. So once we pass the 202 radial for Aberdeen, so we will need Aberdeen pretty much just for the moment. Once we pass the 202 for Aberdeen on the radial, that's when we're then going to start to make that turn off and around onto the 095. So we're currently holding on to the 087, passing 7,004. As we can see here, once we pass through onto the 201 radial, we're then going to basically make that right hand turn. So there's a 201 pretty much coming in, and we're just waiting for it to spin past. Now we're going to the 295 as we just take it through to 100, which we set, passing through 6007. And now as we roll through on head and select mode, which we've got set, we're going to get the Autopilot, which will come on once we get that all established. So we've got the 109, which we're going to switch over now as we're in head and select mode, which will be set. We're going to be intercepting down onto the 340. So we're going to take it back to 395, so the 340. Which is set. As we come down now, passing through 5009, and we're coming in for 2,500 feet, 15 nautical miles away. We're going to drop into flaps 5. Checked. As we come through now, we've got the 109.9, which is in, and as we wait now for the localizer, can pre-arm everything. 5,004 for 2,500 feet, and we've got the 340, which is going to be in, ready for us to intercept as well. So as we're all ready and checked now, we are all ready to go. For 340, 109.9, and we've got the 109.9, which is in as well. Okay, so there's a 109.9, which is going to be waiting for the localizer now to come in onto the 340, and then as we roll it around, we get ready to intercept. So 2,500 feet, and then we swing around onto the 340, 170 over the radial, which is pretty much bang there anyway, as we're coming through. And then we can start that turn onto the 065, passing through 4,000 feet now, and we can start to go to our approach checklist. So we can get a little bit of speed in now as we come through onto the 340, which we are going to set in a check. There's the altitude alert. Pre-arm the autopilot. Altitude hold will be at 2,500 feet. Once we look down, we are going to be basically 7 DME, and our minimums is going to be 415 for 200 foot. So 7 nautical miles is where we're going to then start the glide slope. Got a 200 foot decision height, which is going to be checked. Landing lights are all on and set. Fasten seatbelt signs are on as we now get ready to intercept, ready for the localizer for the 340 inbound. the altitude hold, which will then come into play once we get to 2,500. We'll see that turn green, and then we'll be in control of our speed. So there's the localizer coming now. As we're holding in for flaps 5. As we check down our landing speeds for 140 flaps 30, we're going to be going for around 147 coming in. Localizer's going to track in as we've got 340 now. Okay, 340. And just introduce a little bit of speed as we're coming down for 175. Okay, so you can see the altitude hold now is in green. We're just waiting for the glide slope as we are now lined up ready for the runway. So the aircraft's now going to establish itself. We have full control as we're in IAS. Now we'll be in altitude hold until the glide slope comes in, and then the autopilot will take control with the glide slope on the ILS. We'll start to slow the aircraft down now, holding at 2,500 feet. Just line ourselves up. We can see the runway is in sight. Can hold on to a flaps 5 until we get nearer to the airport, as we are currently 10 nautical miles. 7 DME is where the glide slope is going to start. So we can drop into a flaps 10. So coming in for the approach checklist, we've got altimeters which will be checked passing through the 1026, which are set. Set at 1026, which we set over here as well. 1026, and we set at 1026, which is into. So 1026, which is all in. The glide slope's ready, so we go flaps 15, gear down. As we are now, we're going to start our descent, and we're going to slow down to flaps 15, setting anti-ice, which can now go off, which is checked. Runway turn off lights can be on and set. As we now come down to flaps 15, we've got the auto brake which is set to medium. Gear is down, 3 green. Runway is in sight, and glide slope is alive. So we've got the altitude alert as we are coming down, and we've 2025 was just before. Once we come into the arc, there's 187. As we just increase now our thrust, just to hold through onto a flaps 15. It will take a max. And on our speeds, we're looking for around 750 a minute. So we go down to flaps 30, which is going to take us down to our 147. Which is checked. On the landing checklist, going out to set, runway turn flights are on and set, landing gear is down, autopilot and auto thruster as required. So as we are now ready to go, we can disconnect the autopilot, which is checked, and I have full control of the plane. Oh, there's 143, we're going to stay for around 147, just pitch up a little bit, so we can stay with the glide slope. As there is a little bit of wind in the vicinity. that was a very tight one. So we can't retract now, the speed brakes flaps can be retracted, and welcome to Aberdeen, guys. So it was a good job that we did use the max auto brake setting. Then we was going to come in for medium, as I thought from distance that did look a little bit too short. And so as we come off now and everything's all set and checked, we can get the flight director, which can go off. Everything over on this side, which is manual, that's off as well, which is set. We can get our landing lights, runway turn-offs, which are off. Taxis can go on, strobes can be turned off now, and with the APU ready to start. EGT is now increasing, and we can now taxi off onto stand, guys. We'll disarm the auto brake once we just make the left-hand turn, and that is the arrival down into Aberdeen. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, don't forget to like and subscribe, guys. That's that 2K subscriber goal. As you now make this left-hand turn, I'm going to leave you with the landing cinematics. So I hope you enjoyed the arrival as much as I did, and I'll see you all again very soon for the next available flight on the channel. So take care for now, guys, and I'll see you all very soon. Bye bye.